Travel along, Catholic pilgrims, as we read letters from the voyages of St. Frances Cabrini as she traveled around the Western Hemisphere sharing the good news of Christ. Hello, Catholic pilgrims. Mother Cabrini has landed in Havre and is on her way to Paris. This is a very short reading today, but since we are at the end of the voyage, I will be offering my reflection. So please open your books to page 41 and let's begin. August 23rd. I am at Havre on the train for Paris, and so I give you my greetings and leave you. Thank God for the perfectly good voyage. I shall not remain in Paris for more than 2 days. Pray much for me. May the good Jesus bless you all, and each one in particular. In the train at Havre, 23rd August, 1890. Your affectionate mother in the most sacred heart of Jesus, Francesca Xaveria Cabrini. So we've already finished another voyage with Mother Cabrini. This seemed like a really short trip across the Atlantic. She started on August 17th and got into port in Havre on August 23rd, so roughly 7 days. That seemed really fast, so I went to look it up and see how long it took to get across the Atlantic in the late 1800s, and yep, about a week if all went well. It's crazy to think about because nowadays we can be across the Atlantic from DC to Western Europe in about 7 hours. Still, 7 days sailing across the Atlantic on a steam-powered ship seems pretty good. This voyage was way less eventful than the first voyage we read through. At times, Mother Cabrini seems a bit, I dare say, bored, just waiting to get across. Yet she uses the downtime for rest and reflection. This is a good lesson for all of us. Sometimes our lives will be busy with activities, major events, big happenings, and lots of drama and things to manage. Thinking about the first voyage we read through with Mother, there were rough seas, everyone was sick, she was taking care of the sisters, the engine breaks, icebergs cause fear, and they lose days at sea. Sometimes, though, our lives will be calm, ordinary, and maybe even a bit boring. It's important to use these times to refresh and reflect, as we see Mother Cabrini do. And I've often wondered how she did so much. And here on this voyage, I see that she did take time to recharge a bit when everything was just uneventful and calm. The other thing that I wanted to focus on is how concerned Mother Cabrini is for souls. Now, I mentioned this on social media recently, but I'd like to focus on it again. Over Christmas, I traveled back home to Kansas, and my family flew out of LAX, and while we were sitting around waiting for our flight to board, I was watching all the people at the gate. I don't like being on my phone, especially when I'm in big crowds, mostly because I like to people watch, but also I just think it's good to just be present. Anyway, because of screens, nearly everyone is just tuned out to the world. Hardly anyone strikes up a conversation with a stranger. There's no situational awareness, to use a military term. There's such a lack of interaction and human connection going on. And personally, I hate it. Now, I know all the introverts in the crowd are like, yeah, but we love it when nobody talks to us. Well, being an introvert doesn't mean that you can't be human and be part of society. Soapbox rant. But anyway, the point of saying this is that when we are nearly 100% focused on our stupid screens, we miss opportunities to engage with people. My oldest, who is the focus missionary, does a fantastic job of being engaging when traveling. And because she is open to conversations, she's had many opportunities to subtly evangelize and have spiritual conversations. And it's really amazing what happens when you just lift up your eyes and look at people. And what I loved reading about in this voyage is how Mother Cabrini was so engaging with the Protestant lady. Obviously, they didn't have screens back then to distract them, so that wasn't an issue. However, Mother Cabrini finds a way to connect, the lady's dog, and she uses the dog as a way to have a human connection. And it works. The lady keeps coming back to talk to Mother, and she wants to visit the sisters in Rome. So it was a really successful human connection. And this is something for all of us to remember. We can't bring people to Christ if we are locked in our own world and we shut everyone out. We need to have eyes up and be willing to reach out, even in small ways, to show people that we see them and acknowledge them. I think if we focus on others more, we will find that we have ample opportunities to witness to Christ, even in the most unassuming and subtle ways. So we will stop here for today, Catholic Pilgrims. Next time, it will be almost a year later, and Mother Cabrini will be heading back across the pond to New York. Will it be a calm voyage? I don't know, but I'll see you back here soon. And until then, live the faith boldly and travel well.